As you can tell by the title, I'm the obsessed movie man. O.M.M. Yay, new apartment, yay, okay, back to the show. Do you remember the first time you heard of Ninja Turtles? What was your first thought? I remember my first thought. It was, that's the stupidest idea I have ever heard. And then I finally saw the movie, and when I saw it, it was still the stupidest thing I had ever seen in my entire life. Actually, it was loads of fun to watch. It had some fun characters, lots of action, and an extremely catchy theme song. Yes, the Ninja Turtles have had an interesting career. Recently, they have appeared in a reboot, which I'm sure everyone is happy to see be made. I'm not here to talk about that film, though. I'm here to talk about the 1990 live-action film. Is it awesome? Is it righteous? Is it bossa nova? Let's find out. The film takes place in New York City during a crime epidemic. Multiple robberies are being committed by a group known as the Foot, who are a band of ninjas. The only one attempting to uncover evidence about the Foot's existence would be reporter April O'Neil. Twice, the Foot attacks her, and both times she is saved by a group of vigilantes. Who are they? Why, they are the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, of course! Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael. They in turn are led by their father figure, a rat named Splinter. Eventually, the Foot learn where the Turtles live, and they decide to break in, capture Splinter, and take him to their leader known as the Shredder, who kind of reminds me of a cross between Darth Vader and a cheese grater. The Turtles seem to be outmatched, but with the proper training and support from one another, they get back up and challenge the Shredder to one final fight. The first thing that I took away from the film was how quickly the Turtles show up. It doesn't take long. In fact, they are on screen within the first 5 minutes and remain there for a majority of the film. Who would have thought that would work? When I go into a film titled Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I was expecting to see a film centered around human characters for 90% of the film. I don't want to see a film about the Turtles. I want to see a film about the human characters. Another thing that stands out are the incredible costumes created by Jim Henson. Man, look at these things. They're not the cheap Chuck E. Cheese kind of costumes. These suits enable good lip movement and amazing fight choreography. The range of movement these actors have in the suits is astounding. They can run, do backflips, jump, kick, and perform more ninja-esque moves. Boo! It looks so fake! I demand it all to be CGI. The acting is also surprisingly good. For a film like this, I was expecting some pretty hammy acting, but no, we have a lot of good actors. Judith Hoag as April, Elias Koteas as Casey Jones, Sam Rockwell as the main Foot Thug, and the voice actors and men in the suits who play both the Turtles and Splinter. One of the voice actors was actually Corey Feldman, who voiced Donatello. The only actor to both voice their turtle and also play him in the suit was Josh Pais, who was the Raphael in the film. Another interesting piece of trivia is that Robin Williams was a huge fan of the Ninja Turtles and supplied Judith Hoag with tons of information regarding her character. This was when they were working together on the film Cadillac Man. The Shredder had a really cool look in this film. It was pretty much what he looked like in the original comics, and I always thought that that was the way Shredder should look. Shredder was played by James Saito and voiced by David McCarran. McCarran has this incredibly threatening Darth Vader-like voice in the film. At times it works, but other times I find myself thinking that there is no way someone can have that kind of voice in real life. Then again, maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Speaking of Darth Vader, there seems to be one line which is directly ripping off Star Wars. Shredder is giving this speech about how the Foot Clan is a family when Shredder turns to the kids and says, "I am your father." I find your lack of originality to be disturbing. That's another thing I found a bit perplexing about Shredder. His plan. I guess it's just to steal stuff, but is that really it? All of this theatricality and intimidation just to steal? Maybe if they established that all the stuff was going on to the black market or something, but it's just never really explained. He just recruits kids to work for him, and in return they hang out at this awesome hideout, which makes me think of Pleasure Island from Pinocchio. There are a few downsides to the movie, one of which I can excuse a little bit, that one being the humor. The turtle jokes are some of the worst jokes I have ever heard in a movie. Actually, I take that back. They're not the worst, but they are some of the cheesiest. They sound like jokes you would read on the back of popsicle sticks. What did the turtles say to the ninjas who came in through the windows? And I thought insurance salesmen were pushy. I'm willing to be lenient though, because that's pretty much what the turtles have always done. They say bad jokes, and that actually kind of makes it funny. The last problem I have is that there is not a whole lot of development for all the turtles. Raph by far gets the most development, while the rest of the turtles are pushed to the side. If you never watched the show or read the comics, you might not be able to tell what makes the other three so different. Leo doesn't really do anything leader-like in the film, aside from watching over Raphael and discovering how to communicate with Splinter. Donnie doesn't have a whole lot of super intelligent moments. Mikey's probably the second most developed character, in that he is the partier, but that doesn't really say much because Leo and Donnie seem to be just as much as partiers as he is. No wonder I always liked Raphael the best as a kid. He always got the most attention! Some have criticized the level of violence in the film. People have said it was too dark and disturbing for kids. I, for one, never really had a problem with this. While I acknowledge that there were a lot of intense fighting scenes, I never thought to myself that this was too much. I think Roger Ebert put it best when he said that the action is, quote, stylized and not very graphic, unquote. While on the surface, Ninja Turtles may look like a very stupid movie, and to some extent it is, but it also is pretty smart. The film can take itself seriously when it wants to, and it does have a theme, the importance of family. Think about it. The Turtles in their quest to reunite with their surrogate father Splinter, Splinter and his past relationship with his master Hamato Yoshi, Danny and his struggle with his own father, and the members of the Foot Clan and Shredder. So there are parallels in the film, and they are handled surprisingly well. At the time, it was the highest grossing independent film, making over $133 million at the domestic box office. The director Steve Barron would go on to work on another film favorite of mine, Arabian Nights, which got pretty good reviews. As for this film, it got 2 sequels, one of which was okay and the other we don't really talk about. Regardless, I think that the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film is the best media adaptation of the Turtles. Yes, even over all the cartoons. It has the right balance of comedy and drama, the acting is pretty good, the effects have still stood the test of time, and the fighting scenes are still spectacular to look at. If you have to see any Ninja Turtles movie at all, I highly recommend that you see this one. Thanks, this is an O.M.M review. This is O.M.M, signing out. Cowabunga, dudes.